is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Sharae Palmer and thank you so much for tuning in as always. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You already know the deal so we can continue to grow. So as you guys can see by the title, we are doing a moving tips 101. Watch this video before you move because listen, if I would have realized half the things that I'm about to tell you guys before I moved, I probably would have just picked a lot better place. And so basically I'm going to be telling you guys a bunch of tips that I have just learned personally and just even, you know, seeing my friends go through the same things. So let's just hop right into the video. Okay, so we aren't going to be like going in any specific order, but we're going to start off with, well, I think one of the most important things is start looking early. Okay, now I know, at least for me personally, moving is just such like a stressful time because there's just so many different elements that we're definitely going to get into when it comes to just moving in general, right? But just start looking early, okay? And when I say early, I mean like 2-3 months early. Really like 3 to 4, you at least need to know like what area you want to move to, okay, within like 4 months. Now you want to start kind of touring and stuff, I would say between 2 to 3 months. Let's say it's like April, right? And you're like, oh, my lease is up in June, I gotta, you know, get an apartment. You don't realize how quick like that 2 months is up so fast. And a lot of apartments nowadays, especially I can speak for Atlanta, you have to give them a 60-day notice if you were going to re-sign your lease or if you were going to not be renewing. So that basically means, say if your lease, you know, is up June 1st, by April 1st, you have to let them know if you're re-signing or not. And this is like a stressful time for me because I'm like, okay, well, dang, do I want to re-sign this lease? Do I not? And if I don't want to re-sign, now I have to really like figure out where I'm gonna live and what apartment I'm gonna live in. So just start looking early, start touring apartments early, just to get an idea. And you at least want to, like, when you start touring, maybe have like a possible 3 to 4, but really 5 options that you really like or that, you know, like would fit your budget and just, you know, your lifestyle, the area you want to live in. Have at least 5 because some of those, by the time you move, they might not be available, things like that. Okay, so I mean, start looking early. At least know the location that you want to live in and at least know like what price point that you're kind of looking at staying within, because that's going to be super important as well. Okay. So just to piggyback off of start looking early and start touring early, start saving early. Okay, y'all don't realize, I mean, maybe you do, but you spend so much money when you move and there's so many different added expenses that you don't even realize until after the fact, and you look and you're like, I didn't spend all this money. Okay, so we're gonna get into added expenses that you guys probably didn't realize that you're spending money on. Let's just say you have $5,000, right, and you want to move out, baby. 5,000 is like a cool little cushion, but I really suggest like 10,000, between 5 to 10,000 before you move out on your own, because you just don't realize how much stuff, at least for me, how much stuff you buy. I mean, because I love to shop, y'all know I love to shop, but you're gonna spend a lot. So let's just get into it. Okay, number 1, if you're gonna hire movers. Now, if you choose to have friends and family help you, you know, move and everything like that, that's amazing, and that will save you tons of money because movers are so expensive. Like, I had the luxury and the blessing to have my friends and family help me move, and then in like the last day I had to end up getting movers like last minute. That's a whole nother story, girl. But sorry, that's my dog back there walking, if y'all can see her. Anyways, movers are so expensive, so they can range between like $300 to, I had this one company quote me $3,500 to move my 1-bedroom apartment just because I had a bed, a couch, you know, like they kind of base it off of rooms, but they literally quoted me $3,500, and that's insane. I know that's like, that's not normal, don't think that's normal, but it is going to cost you between like $300 to $1,000, sometimes even more, depending on how much stuff you have. So definitely, like, movers is an added expense, okay, and they are expensive. I don't care if you're moving a studio, it's gonna be at least a couple $100s, okay? So that's an added expense you have to think about. Next, you have to think about cleaners. So if you want your security deposit back, your apartment has to be in great condition, you know, when you move out. Now, you could take it upon yourself to clean the apartment yourself. That means sweeping, mopping, like wiping everything down, cleaning out the refrigerator, cleaning out the oven, the bathroom, vacuuming, all those things. Now, if you love to clean, that's perfect. Me, I'm already having a pet, I'm already having to move. That's just a stressful time in general. I'm not cleaning anything. I'm not cleaning it. I'm not doing it. So if you decide to hire movers, they can range between $100 to $300, just depending on like you know, how big your space is. They're gonna ask you like the condition or whatever. Next, you have to account for a security deposit. So depending on where you go, some security deposits can be $100, $200. Some security deposits are half of your rent, and some security deposits, depending on the apartment, can be like your whole rent. They want like 1 full month. That's crazy. I did not pick a place like that, and I have not experienced a place like that, but for me personally, I think my security deposit, the last apartment was maybe like $400, and then this one was like $250. So they're not insane, but like I said, an added expense, okay? Moving right along with that, application fee. Each apartment that you apply to, just to see if you could even get approved to live there, you have to pay application fee. Maybe not all apartments, because I'm really just speaking for like Atlanta or like a big city in general, because like maybe if you live in like where I'm from, West Virginia, in a smaller city, it might not be that expensive. It might be like $35, $50. But application fees in Atlanta are like $100, $75. Some places are $200. It just depends on like how high end you're going, like how luxurious or whatever. But application fee is definitely something to account for, like as an added expense, okay? A U-Haul truck or whatever type of moving truck that you want to get, plus a dolly. Now, some moving companies, they will include a truck for you, and they'll just they will do that all together. But if you get a moving company that doesn't supply the truck, or if you're using family and friends to move, you have to rent a U-Haul truck. That's an added extra expense. That's like I think it can be like $100 for like a day, something around that range. So you have to rent the U-Haul, and you have to rent a dolly. I definitely suggest getting a dolly, because that heavy stuff, those heavy boxes, you can literally put it on top of the dolly and just push it down the hallway, and you're good to go. Now, if you have stairs, baby, if you have stairs, hire movers, because moving boxes and beds and mattresses up and down stairs, that just save yourself the stress, because that's just insane. You're gonna have to account for boxes. You're gonna have to, depending on how much stuff you have, you're gonna have to go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and buy boxes. That's also an added expense that you don't think about when you're moving and you know you're saving for these things. And boxes range between, they're like $7 a piece, some are like $3 a piece. It just depends how big or small you get, but that's also another added expense. Now, y'all know I have a dog, pet deposits. A lot of places, like 99% of places in Atlanta, they're gonna charge you a pet deposit. And those are actually more expensive than your own deposit. So some places, the pet deposit is like $400, $600, $300, and I'm like, for a pet is insane. Now, let me give you a cheat code. If you have a pet, now I'm not saying go lie, but what I'm telling you what I did is you can get them registered as an emotional support animal, and they legally cannot charge you a security, like a pet deposit. So that's what I have for Paris. I have her paperwork, and you just submit that to the office, and they legally cannot charge you a pet deposit if you have that paperwork. And also a service dog. If you have a service dog, they can't charge you either. And then a lot of places too, another expense, pet rent. They charge you a month. Literally, like some places $25, some places $50, some places $100 to $200 a month, not included into your rent, babes. Like an extra bill, an extra occurrence on your bill, on your rent, just for your animal. Now, like I said, if you have them as an emotional support animal or a service dog, you don't have to pay that. But if you don't, start saving early. My tip number 2, start saving early, okay? Now, if you already have an apartment, you could just use, move your furniture from one place to another. But if you are moving out for your first time, furniture is expensive, okay? Now, you have to buy a bed, you have to buy a couch, you have to get either a chair and tables for your kitchen, or if they already has like an island like mine does, you have to buy bar stools. Bar stools are so freaking expensive. Y'all, I kid you not, the bar stools I got were $350 a piece. Not for the set, babe, a piece. Bar stools are expensive. Even like the little cheap ones are like $75 a piece, $100 a piece. And you have to generally buy like 3 to 4 freaking bar stools, which is crazy. But if you're a woman or a man and you want to make your house feel like a home, or your apartment feel like a home, you're gonna decorate, right? And that doesn't have to mean like extensive things, but it is gonna be pricey, like a full body mirror, wall art, a coffee table, a rug, right? Nightstands, little things for your shower, like all that stuff adds up. Like even if you go to Target, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, like Ross, Walmart, it adds up so quick, and then you will spend so much money you won't even. I honestly should tally up how much money I spent, like just making this place feel, girl. Regardless, baby, you need to start saving, okay? Like if you're about to move and you're watching this because you're moving, you need to be saving. Don't go shopping. Don't go do what you was supposed. Actually, no, I ain't even gonna say that. Go shopping. You deserve it, but just be responsible, okay? Like, in your means, all right? Now, let's move along. Let's say we're past the expenses, okay? And we're getting into like the nitty gritty of finding a good place. Let's say we're going to tour, right? So when you're touring, you wanna ask as many questions as possible, okay? I don't care if, and also like think about different questions that you may have and write them in your notes on your phone, so that way when you're touring with the leasing agent, you have those questions handy to be able to ask them, like, you know, anything that you have to ask them. That's what I do, honestly, because I be forgetting. So I just have it right there just to be able to, just in case I forget, okay? So when you are touring, right, they're gonna, you know, you'll meet them in the leasing office, right? You have to give them your ID to tour, whatever. And most of the time a leasing agent will show you. Now when you're touring, you'll have two options. They'll either tour and you'll see the like demo apartment where it's like furnished and everything, just so you can get a feel for like the space and things like that. And then also sometimes you'll tour and it'll be like an empty apartment. Now a lot of the times the demo apartment is like a 2-bedroom, and so if you're touring if you're looking to move into a 1-bedroom, you're not really going to get to see the actual space unless they just have one vacant to show you, but they're not always going to have one vacant to show you. So that's kind of like frustrating, because I'm a person, I need to see it in person. Like before I move, I want to see it in person. I want to walk in it, maybe not the exact unit, but I need to see the exact layout, because I want to see if it's spacious enough, if I like the layout, if I think it's, you know, if it's a good fit for me, right? Just a tip, if they don't have that apartment available to show you, you can always ask them for a video, and they usually have them on hand to be able to email over to you, just so you can see that floor layout if they don't have it on their website, okay? Something else really good to ask is like, generally if someone puts in a work order, how long does it take for them to fix, you know, whatever the problem is? Now hopefully you have a truthful leasing agent and they'll be honest with you. They might not be, just because they might want you to sign that lease because they get bonuses and things like that. But if you do have a trustworthy and like a truthful leasing agent, hopefully she will tell you, because I've personally dealt with it before. Having a maintenance like shortage and not having a good maintenance team at your apartment is very frustrating, because let's say, I don't know, your microwave stops working, or your stove or your dishwasher, like that's just frustrating and like an inconvenience, because you know, you use those things in a daily, so when something's out and they're not getting fixed within like 24 to 48 hours, it's frustrating, you know? So you want to definitely ask about the maintenance team, ask, you know, maybe how big the staff is, things like that. And I don't care if they get frustrated or not, you will be thankful and grateful that you asked more questions, versus moving into a place and you would have been like, well, dang, I could have avoided this if I would have just asked more questions, okay? So ask questions. Don't feel bad about it. Ask some questions, okay? So also ask about guest parking. So for me, I love to have my friends over, my families visit all the time. So you want to see like, okay, how is your guest parking? Do you have a specific like lot for them? Do they have to pay for parking? Okay, how is guest parking for overnight? Now it does depend on like the part of the city that you're in. So like, let's say for example, you live in Midtown. A lot of the places in like a bigger city in like Midtown or downtown, your guests have to pay hourly, and like they can't stay overnight, or it's like $24 a night or something just crazy. Now sometimes they'll give you like a little like pass and it'll like validate for a couple of hours for them, but like I don't want my guests to have to deal with any of that. That's just inconvenient and just annoying, and I don't like that. So you do want to make sure that your apartment does offer guest parking, if that's something that you care about. If that is something that you always have your friends over, your family, and you don't want to worry about it, I would definitely suggest asking about guest parking and just figuring it out, because it's super important and it's something that you don't even want to have to like stress about when you are moving, okay? When you are touring as well, and just like before you sign that lease, right, you want to be able to, if you can go back to the place, that's great, but if not, you want to go on the website, look at the map, and whatever apartment that you're about to sign, you want to make sure that it's at a good location in the complex itself, okay? What I mean by that is, let's say you have a dog, okay? You don't want to be on the complete opposite part in the complex of the dog park because you have a dog. So you're gonna have to have, now if you care about it, but me, I care about it. So you don't wanna have to be on the opposite side of the dog park, because that's just a longer walk and it's just inconvenient, right? So you want to make sure that you're near a dog park, you're near steps to be able to go outside to take your dog out if you do have a pet. You also don't want to be like too far from the elevator, me personally, because I don't like a long walk when I'm bringing in groceries, when I'm, just having friends and family over. If it's just a late night, like I don't feel like walking a mile to my apartment. So you want to be somewhere relatively close to an elevator, maybe not exactly near it because it might be a little loud, just like the commotion of like people coming in and out of it. But you do kind of want to be like relatively like down the hallway or a few doors down or something, like not just too far from the elevator. Just trust me, don't do it to yourself, okay? And you also do want to be near like some stairs, just if possible, like I said, if you have a dog. And then sometimes the elevators go down, so if you're near stairs, you already have like a good accessible way to get to your car or to get outside or whatever the case may be, just so that it's, like I said, more convenient for you. You're picking a place, it's honestly all about you, because this is a place that you're spending all this money on, one, and two, this is somewhere that you're signing a lease, so you're basically stuck there for however long your lease term is, which is generally between 12 to 15 months. Are you okay? So you definitely want to take your time with this process and do not rush it, because if you rush and move into a place that ends up being horrible, yes, it's possible to get out of a lease, but it's not the easiest task, believe me. So just make sure that you really love the place that you're picking. Make sure that if possible, you are able to tour an exact layout before you sign that lease, because it's super important. You want to be, you want to be comfortable, you want to be confident in whatever place that you pick, okay? When you're moving, like I said, it's a stressful time. And it comes so freaking fast, at least for me. So you want to make sure that you're packing in advance, okay? And in advance, I mean like, depending on how much stuff you have, like at least a week before. Honestly, I would say like 2 to 3 weeks, because it takes time to pack. Make sure that you label your boxes. I never thought how big of a deal that was, but when you're moving and you're unpacking, you don't know where your stuff is. It's irritating. So label your boxes with like a big Sharpie or like a sticky, just something, so that you know what is what when you're unpacking, and also label it kind of big, so that when your movers are taking things somewhere, let's say you have clothes, or you can put closet or whatever, they know where to take it, because it's annoying if they take all the boxes for your kitchen stuff and put it in your bedroom. Now you have to drag all those boxes, from your bedroom or vice versa. You want to just make sure you label them so that they know where to put them, if they have freaking common sense, If you are, let's say you're moving somewhere far, or even if you're just moving, I suggest packing a suitcase of things just to have while you're unpacking. So like, when you're moving, it's a lot of stuff to unpack, and most people do not want to unpack their whole apartment. I mean, kitchen, clothes, bathroom, everything that same day. So if you have a suitcase, you kind of have something to pull from, for the couple of days that you are unpacking. So if you don't have all your clothes, if you do, let's say you have a 9 to 5, you have those work clothes you need every day. While you're unpacking, go ahead and pack your work clothes. Go ahead and pack your pajamas and your everyday essentials for like your shower, your skincare routine, things like that. Just so that while you're unpacking, you're not just like ruffling through boxes trying to find stuff, because it's super frustrating and it'll save you a lot of time. So pack a suitcase as if you're going to spend somewhere for a couple of days, but in reality, you're just kind of like pulling things out of that while you're unpacking, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Oh, you want to ask like some mandatory things that are going to be on your bill statement every time the first of the month comes. So you'll have like an amenity fee, a parking fee, valet trash, which means you sit your trash outside of your door every night and they come by and get it. Not on the weekend, usually they're off, but like on the weekday they'll come by and pick up your trash. That's like $25 a month, which is super convenient. I actually do like that feature, because I don't have to take my trash can or whatever, or trash bag or boxes and stuff like that all the way to like a dump or like the trash room. So valet trash I think is super nice, but like I said, it's just an added expense. And you also have to pay like pest control might be on there, which is relatively on the cheaper side. It's like $3, really nothing, honestly. Yeah, you guys, those are just a few of my tips. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please let me know if you have any questions at all in the comment section down below. Follow me on Instagram at Sharae Palmer, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.